Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA video. We're going to be diving back into Algorand today for my daily technical analysis on the project, and we're going to be looking at some targets here. Now, I've noticed this pattern on Bitcoin recently, okay, where I think Bitcoin potentially is forming some sort of bearish pennant here, okay, because you've had this flag down and now you're starting to coil up in this pennant. If Bitcoin loses this pennant, okay, and starts to close below 16.3k, okay, and you coil up in something like this, you start to lose support of this support line here that Bitcoin has on the daily. I do think you're in a technical target of some sort of bear pennant here, okay, which goes from the top of the pennant down to the support. Now you can see if Bitcoin loses this support here, you're looking at retracing and making your way down to this 0618 target at $11,600. Now, I managed to get this target from watching someone that I've had a close eye on who's taught me a lot about technical analysis. His name's CoinsKid, and he showed me that from this all-time high here for Bitcoin, okay, you've lost this leg of support here, this 050. So your next target is the 0618 on this retracement back down to this low here in COVID times, okay? So we came up, we had this impulsive move, we had this ABC corrective move to form that March COVID low, okay, and then you had this mad impulsive run, okay, you tried to hold support, you've lost support, you're falling through the fibs here, and now you've lost this 0618, this 050 at 16.3k. So if you start to see continuous closes below 16.3k for Bitcoin, I do think you're in this bear pennant target down to at least this 0618 here at $11,000. Now, why is that important for Algorand? It's because if Bitcoin does have a roll, a lot of the altcoins are also going to take some sort of battering or some sort of some sort of a push down, a nasty leg down. Now, what I'm expecting for Algorand if this was to occur, okay, and Bitcoin's bear pennant does play out and we do see further capitulation due to market due to the unsettled market conditions at the moment, what I'm looking here for Algorand is a pullback. So how can we get this pullback, and where's the targets that I'm looking for Algo? Straight off the back, okay, Algo's got this death cross on the daily. You've come down for support. You've come back into the 20. You formed a lower low, okay, and right now you're continuously forming lower highs and lower lows, basically, which is a bearish pattern. So here on the daily, what I'm looking for at the moment, if Bitcoin was to have that roll, okay, you can see Algorand's got this horizontal level of support here that sits at around 26 cents at the moment. And from this point where you've been rejected by this daily death cross, okay, you've got this level of resistance. So potentially Algo is forming some sort of you came up, you came down correctively, you're being rejected by the EMAs, you're forming lower highs, and you're sort of coiling up in this descending triangle. So if Algo fails to break through this resistance on the daily time frame right here, okay, and keeps hitting its head on it, and it starts to come down and lose this support, okay, and lose this horizontal support, you've got further downside targets, okay. So that downside target for me here on the daily time frame would be from there to there, and if you did lose support, you could see that Algo would be wherever it would be across this horizontal support, you could see that Algorand would be coming down to 20 cents. Now, I've put in 20 to 21 cents before in the charts and said, guys, we need to be careful here. This is potentially where Algo's looking to go. So one bit of confluence, let's keep that mark in, okay? I'm going to keep that price tag in right here. So that takes us to 20 cents. I'm going to delete these trend lines, that horizontal triangle. Keep this 20 cent target in mind, because what this points out to us, okay, from this high, okay, so from this local high of resistance that we've met, retracing to the 27 cent low, you can see, okay, that the 20 cent ties up with the 0618 area. Okay, so this 1618 target down here. So we've closed below 27.3 cents. Okay, we're running into that as resistance right now. If we fail to break that and keep getting squeezed between this 1 fib and this 1272, I do think you're looking for a push down to the 1618. Okay, you do tend to get reliefs when you fall through these EMAs. So right here, okay, you had this capitulative candle. You fell to the 1272. Right now, you're running back into resistance at 27 cents that was previously support for many months. Okay, if you fail to break above 27 cents here, okay, and fail to get above and you start just coiling up around this area, I would look for that push down, especially because on the daily you can see that, as I said, you're coiling up in that descending triangle. So if we go back to the daily time frame here just to look a little bit more and get this back on. So I said you've got this resistance, okay, you've got this resistance, you've got this horizontal level of support around the closes, okay, and if you was to lose that, I said that the technical target would be the 1618. If you start to lose support, you can see that that's where it's bringing us back down to, okay, that 20 cent area. So for me, that would be a golden area to get in for Algo and provide an amazing opportunity for Algo here. Again, you'd still be in bullish structure in the long term, because if we did come down to that 20 cent and that was our low, okay, you can see that it ties up roughly with around this area of support here previously for Algo, okay, which is 20.7 cents. So again, just zooming in here, let's get a little perspective of what potentially may occur here. So back in the December, I think this was December, no, March 2020. Okay, Algo had this low, it came up to resistance, coiled back out, broke out, fell back to support here, and broke out. But ever since it fell back to support, you can see it came down and lost this high here of support. Okay, so the next place to target, the next place you look for is from swing high to swing low. Okay, so we've lost this low. We've basically turned that to resistance, been pushed down from it. So the next target is this swing low here, where you coiled up, came back for support, broke out. Okay, you was looking to hold support, you didn't, you've ran into resistance, now you're being pushed down. So again, this wick here for me is where Algo's trying to get to, okay, because it was previous resistance, broke out, held a support, you've broke out impulsively. Right now you're coming down correctively, potentially looking to fill in this nasty wick here down to around about 21 cents. So that's what I'm looking for. Now if Algo did come down and meet that 1618 target, okay, so from that high down to this low, if you did see Algo come down to 20 cents and it did something like this, okay, where you've come down, you've come up, been rejected, you're sort of holding here. If you fail and you lose that one fib and close below 27, okay, then for me, you're looking at this 20-cent Algo. Now, if Algo did come down and do something like that, you could see that you have this low here, you've got a high. If you did start to come down and push to this low, you've still got a higher low than this low that was put in March 2020. And again, you'd be forming a higher low system. So you've got a low, a high, you come back, you form a higher low. If you start to retrace at this point and tackle this all-time high, then you've got a higher high and you're still confirming bullish structure. Okay, it's only when Algorand starts to do something, if you have a really nasty candle, okay, and you get forced down and run into resistance again, potentially you could be coming down to retest this low of COVID times. But again, there's levels of support along the way that Algo could potentially bounce at, and this is the one I'm looking for right now, okay, at around 22 cents, and down here again at this level of support that was previous resistance, you've got 22 cents. 20 cents. So those are my targets, guys, moving forward. Okay, if Algorand fails to break back above 27, if Algorand fails to break back above 27 cents, and starts to close below this price tag right here, okay, on the weekly time frame, monthly time frame, wherever it is, if you start to close below that, okay, you can see you've already got this wick to the 1272. What I normally see is these wicks get filled in with bodied candles, okay, because you had this wick here, and look what eventually happened. You came down, you filled that candle in. So that wick got filled in with candles. So right now, potentially, you're holding support, but if you do start to come down, I would expect closes at the 1272. At this point, you may get relief into the one fib back to this 27 cents, which we're being rejected by, and then start to come down and meet this 1618 target at 20 cents, which ties up with this level of support back here for Algo in early 2020. So those are my targets, guys, moving forward. I mean, Bitcoin's looking relatively bearish moving forward. It's structurally, datily lost its lows. So this indicates that we are going to see some sort of further push down potentially in the markets, and this is my target area to get involved in Algo if we do see further drawback. Okay, so this isn't a bearish video. It's not one to indicate, okay, that Algorand's basically going to zero, because I sincerely don't think that's the case. Okay, I do think that right now we are in great areas of buying opportunity, and if you do enter this sort of zone here between 23 to 20 cents, it might just provide lifetime opportunity for people that don't see, you know, fear never feels like opportunity. And again, as I said, you'd still be putting in a higher low here than you did here. And you've got this high. All Algo would need to do is start to form some bullish structure, consolidate for a bit, start working its way through the fibs. And on the weekly time frame, if you start to see Algo ever get back above this 20 EMA. Okay, so this was a little bit of excitement here. It looked like it was all going well. You got that overextension of the EMAs, and then you just got forcefully pushed down. Okay, so we're still in this downtrend where we're being rejected by EMAs, which indicates that potentially there is further downside. It's once you start getting above these EMAs, okay, and you start to see if Algo comes down here, gets really extended from this 20 and this 55, and it does come down to that 20 cent area, I would expect some sort of relief back up into the EMAs again for a retest. Okay, but right now, as I said, you are you've got again, this is called a right angled broadening wedge. I think I showed you this in previous videos for Algo as well. So this is another bearish pattern that I'm looking at here for Algo, where you've got higher highs forming, okay, and then you've got this horizontal level of support. So this is called a right angled broadening wedge. Okay, it's a bearish pattern, and again, the technical target I think would bring us back down would bring you back down again to 19-20 cents. So this is another pattern that's looking like, okay, right now we've lost support. We've lost support of this low that we was holding in June. We was coiling up, okay, we was coiling up, support, resistance. We met resistance, came down, we lost this support. Okay, and you can see, if I zoom in a little bit here, you can see that this support that we was currently holding has been lost. You've come down and now you're running into it as resistance. So if Algorand does fail to close above 28 cents this week, okay, you are confirming you're sort of hitting your head here and you're looking for that further push down to that 20-cent area. Again, which I just think would provide optimal opportunity for people to get involved, not financial advice, but potentially, again, this is a really rough, where could I look at for this? So you've potentially got this wave 1, this wave 2, this wave 3, this is your wave 4, and then you're looking your wave 5 down to that 20-cent area, something like that, okay? But this to me is corrective, and you know, still until you start losing all this data from back here, okay, this is where it's not corrective, and you've basically started to come up and create a reversal wave. And especially if you lose this low here that Algo had on the 20th of May, on the 9th of March 2020, then it's very, very negative. But until you lose this low, I think Algorand is still coming back and is still bullish. Long-term macro scale projection. Okay, so let me tell you something as well. In regards to the EMAs, you can see this 20 EMA here, this 55. When you had this big gap between the EMAs, okay, price was overextended. You came straight back to the EMAs. The same thing works with the downside. When you're too far overextended from the EMAs and you're far away from them, you start to get dragged back to them. Unfortunately, we've been dragged up back to it and then we've been pushed back down again. So this to me is indicating that we are looking for some sort of rollover here to another level of support before we can start to attack that 28 cents again and look for some sort of bullish breakout or consolidation period for Algo. Okay, so pairing this with the Bitcoin chart and the Bitcoin's state at the moment and the state of the markets and this and that coming out about this and that, you know, I'm not going to dive in any further, but for me right now things are looking quite negative, and I do think a further push down may come. Again, I could be completely wrong. Okay, if you start to see Algorand tackle above that 28 cents, okay, all Algo has to do here is start to get back above this 236 here on this fib, okay, because this level here is key resistance right now. This is where we're running into resistance at 27.7. If you start to see Algo get back above that, hold support of these Fibonacci's and start to tackle above 35 cents, okay, then you're sort of invalidating and you're getting above the EMAs. You're starting to come back into this channel of resistance and support you was in, and this is where, again, relatively, this was a big fake out, a bear trap, and you're just going to come back into these fibs, into these EMAs, and eventually start to break out of them. Okay, so that's the bullish scenario. If you start to see Algo closing above 32 to 35 cents in the golden ratio, okay, and holding above that and starting to tackle out of this high here at 39, that's the bullish scenario. But right now I'm trying to show you what's in front of me. Okay, there's bearish patterns at play. As I said, you've got this right angle broadening wedge. On the daily, you've also got this potential descending triangle where you're coiling up, and all these targets point towards that 20-cent area for Algo. So guys, do be cautious, okay, because you've got this death cross, you're running into resistance, you're continuously hitting your head. The more you hit your head, the more likely you are to basically come down further. So yeah, guys, that's a quick update for you today on Algorand. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. From Chart Nerd TA, take care, peace out.